Extraordinary bit of news out of Afghanistan. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. The mastermind of the Kabul airport bombing, which killed 13 U.S. service members, was just killed by the Taliban. An extraordinary development, the Post says, spotlighting the Biden administration's newfound reliance on a former battlefield adversary to help confront terrorist threats. Now, I wanted to cover this for a couple of reasons. I was told in no uncertain terms that when Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, Afghanistan was going to become a terrorist hellhole, and that the Taliban weren't going to kill anybody for us, and that we would all be less safe. And also there would be like a mass slaughter of American citizens. Actually, not a single American citizen has been killed. I am not supporting the Taliban. I'm not saying they're good people. I'm saying that I was told very specific things, that American citizens would be in danger and would be killed. Nope, that hasn't happened. By all accounts, every single American citizen at this point that's wanted to leave the country has left the country, and the Taliban has basically let them do so. Two, on the terrorist front, we wouldn't be able to kill terrorists in Afghanistan because we didn't have an on-the-ground presence. Except we actually killed the leader of al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri, with a drone, and now the person who was responsible for killing our service members, we didn't even kill them. The Taliban killed them for us. It's almost like it was a multifaceted full situation, and the people who were criticizing the withdrawal, saying it was, quote, making us less safe, were full of shit. Look,
they never follow up on that, though, do they?
Yeah, they never do follow up on that.
Predictions
How many people
true.
died in Afghanistan? How many Americans were killed in Afghanistan? I was literally, how many times did you hear that? Abandoning Americans in Afghanistan. How many of them were killed? Name one. Show me one person who was killed. Hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what's happening there is a good thing. I think it's sad. But do I think that it's worth the lives of American service members so that Afghan girls can go to school? No, sorry, I don't care. And, I think it's sad, but do I think that it's worth, like, money, material? And I think this is the best thing that Joe Biden ever did in his presidency. Everybody's like, oh, he should have left Bagram open. Okay, all right, listen, that's like criticizing the tactical stuff when the strategic is what matters.
Yeah.
He did it. He's the one who did it. And also, if you support Ukraine so much, so many of these stands, try and support Ukraine if we still had this goddamn Afghan war going on. There's a pretty good evidence, actually, that given the amount of material we were pumping in Afghanistan and the military resources and all of that, that half of the amount of Ukraine aid would have been actually needed by the military. So even if you consider it on that face, it's ridiculous. We live in a realistic world, and this is only a vindication of the withdrawal.
I think it's important to remember, too, that in that horrifying terrorist attack that killed 13 American service members, it also killed an estimated 170 Afghans. Mm-hmm. So they certainly had a stake in taking out this leader as well. And the big, we heard a lot of arguments for why the U.S. should never leave Afghanistan. But the most core, sort of like compelling one, I suppose, was the idea that it's going to once again be a safe haven for terrorists,
yes,
as it was before 9/11, harboring Osama bin Laden, and they're going to go back to that. And to me, what this shows is that does not appear to have come to fruition. And in fact, they are also not happy about ISIS-K, at least terrorist organization operating on their soil. So just shows you the landscape is a bit different than the way it was painted by the detractors in the wake of that messy withdrawal.
That's why the whole rhetoric around this is so stupid. The Taliban and ISIS hate each other. They've been killing each other since 2016, from when ISIS-K even emerged in, I think it was in Nangarhar province, which is near Pakistan. The point is, it's a complicated place, and to try and put U.S. politics onto it was the death of American soldiers, of Afghan civilians from the beginning. It was a nightmare, and it was a mess. We should have gotten out decades ago.
Yeah.
Every president kicked the ball, kicked it down the road. You know what's weird? I walk my dog past Stanley McChrystal all the time, and it's the weirdest thing, because sometimes I'll look at him, and all I really want to say is, A, what happened to Michael Hastings? That's number one. Number two is, I just look at this guy, who's sitting pretty, by the way, he's making millions of dollars as some sort of consultant. He's got this big office building nearby, and I'm just like, man, look at this guy. He's sitting pretty, he's getting into his nice car, he's got a chauffeur, and all this stuff, and the wreckage of what he left behind, nothing. He made big promises, and he was a failure.
Well,
and all these guys, they get richer when they leave. That's what drives me nuts.
And then they get called on in instances like this by the media to come on and advocate for war forever. I think it was so illustrative to watch the bipartisan, cross any sort of partisan media outlet, how they all fed the exact same narrative. And it's always like this. The push from the media is always in the hawkish direction. It is almost never in a ending wars, pro-peace direction. And that was never more obvious than with regard to Afghanistan. And I just want to say, since our withdrawal, I think some of our actions have been unconscionable in denying them funds. Afghanistan is going through, horrible famine. It's been very tough times for their people. We have been complicit in that. But suddenly, again, all of their feigned concern in the moment for the people out of Afghanistan, the women, the girls, et cetera, suddenly gone. We never hear about it anymore.
Very, very true. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.